Can LSU get one of the biggest wins of the season this weekend when the Aggies travel to LSU in a game where we're still waiting on Garrett Nussmeier to break out? And if he does, could be a win for the Bayou Bengals. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that LSU can upset A&M at Tiger Stadium this weekend? It is one of the bigger matchups that we have in this week 9 slate, and it is also an opportunity for LSU to get back into the college football playoff conversation. They've got 2 losses, yes, but those losses are to ranked opponents, and it's okay. Having lost 2 of the last 3 is never a good look, and it's not what you want. And this A&M team needs to solidify its standing as a number 3 team. I realize they're 7-0. I realize they've been dominated on defense, and Marcel Reed has been playing at a Heisman level, but it feels like LSU's talent has yet to reach its potential. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that LSU is due here. And there are a couple other things that are going their way from Mr. Momentum, which may be changing his dress to Death Valley for this weekend. Again, the Aggies are good. They're really good. Having won 2 of the last 3 meetings between themselves and LSU. And the last time they played, it was 38-23 to A&M, and LSU was the top 10 team, and A&M was number 14. They're also the last remaining undefeated team in the SEC, which is no small feat, and they've got a lot of room here for mistakes. I realize you don't want any. I realize if you're A&M, you're looking at this going, hey, RJ, we are ranked number 3. That's the highest ranking we've had since 1995. We are looking at perhaps winning our first conference championship this century, and maybe playing for our first national championship since 1939. Why are you shorting us? I'm not. I'm actually very enthusiastic about what A&M has accomplished, and that win against Notre Dame looks better, right? And the way in which they've been able to win games has demonstrated they can win them with defense, and they can win them high scoring. They outscored Arkansas 45-42 in what was a terrific win for them in Fayetteville. But they're seeking their first win in Baton Rouge since 1994. And that was when they got off to an 8-0 start. That would give them an 8-0 start, which is would be their best since 1992. A lot of things on the line here for an A&M team that hasn't flown this close to the sun in quite some time. 45 is also the most that they've scored all season. They had 217 rush yards, 280 pass yards. That's really good balance for A&M, and those are things that you're going to have to stop if you're the LSU defense, where Blake Baker needs to get back on the good foot with this. And while we can talk noise about what it is that the Bayou Bengals have not done defensively, it's been the offense that let them down, and it's been the offense that's been really picking up for A&M. I mean, Mario Craver leads the SEC in average receiving yards per game with 95.4. Between him and KC Concepcion, you got something. Ruben Owens can run the football. They've got the tools, and that defense has been stout. But Garrett Nussmeier threw 8 300-yard games last year. Had 8 300-yard passing performances. He's yet to have one this year, which is wild, because going in, he is the most prolific returning starting quarterback in the SEC with over 4,000 yards through the air. The thought was you give him these burners on the outside in Berrien Brown, right? In Aaron Anderson, in Nick Anderson, and you have guys that could tear the roof off, and all you got to do is throw it deep and or see it. Expect him to operate like perhaps Joe Burrow did. Although he does not have the wheels of a Jaden Daniels, he has the processing power and speed. The offense just hasn't looked good, and they haven't scored. Like, they're averaging just 25.6 points per game. That's 12th out of 16 in the SEC. We expected that close number to be closer to 35 going into this season. We're also looking at a Nussmeier who has not thrown a TD. Hasn't thrown a TD against A&M since last year, threw 3 interceptions in the second half, and really that led to the floodgates opening for A&M. But we're also talking about the second worst rushing offense in the country, in the SEC with LSU. Caden Durham has not had the kind of season that we would want. He's had setbacks. I get that, but you would expect to have a deeper bench there where you can get the run game going. The run game is going to support the throw game. You get to run some play action stuff. You get to bring people in. You get to see an eighth man in the box, and you get one-on-one on the outside, and you let Garrett Nussmeier and that wide receiving crew go to work. But going into this one, the thing that I think is overlooked is the home team has won 6 of the last meetings with this one. And LSU is 20 for 21 at Tiger Stadium in its last 21 games. That's nothing small to sneeze at. It's, I think, really important for the defense because the 12th man at Tiger Stadium is also going to get you some false starts, right? Probably going to get you some calls. They're also averaging just 14.6 points per game in scoring defense, which means when they figure themselves out early, they stay on top of you. I've yet to see some of these guys come alive, but if you are, well, Brian Kelly, you're looking at this roster and you're going, I put $1 million of my own money into this. Where's it going? It's like, hey, welcome to being a booster, dog. It's also their run defense has not been great either. They're giving up more than 190 rush yards in each of the last 2 games. And Marcel Reed back there, you could see that happening again. But can they bow up with their backs against the wall in the end zone? Because I think if you can keep A&M out of the end zone, so make them settle for 3, you give Garrett Nussmeier something to work with in the second half, he may come alive. And again, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not out on LSU because the talent is there. We know it. It's kind of like Texas. When Texas plays to its potential, it knocks off an undefeated number 6 Oklahoma like it's nothing. That is who LSU can be. That is who I want them to become. A&M is playing to the highest potential that they have with their talent, and it has achieved number 3, which, again, when you're looking at the SEC and you see 10 ranked teams in a 16-team league, that tells you what we believe the talent is like over there and the coaching personnel is like over there. I think for LSU to win this game, you'll have to keep A&M under 24 points, and you'll have to get to 28. I could see that just as easily being the score, 28-24 to the Tigers. That would be my prediction at this point. Could I be wrong about this? Yes, I could. And could this be a way in which we want to, I don't know, tackle it a little bit differently, given what we've seen in the SEC this year, where if you're Auburn, you're just not going to get the calls. And if you're Oklahoma, you're already playing better than people expected you to play. I think that all those things are important. I think that there's room for A&M to be great. There's also room for A&M to fall off a cliff. And depending on how you think about them going into Saturday, maybe you're an Aggies fan who goes, this is never going to work out for us. We have a history of throwing away these sorts of opportunities where we get off to great starts and we can't quite finish. But I just don't see it that way. And because I don't see it that way, I think you can drop this game against LSU and be fine. But that's the other thing that I would like to see from this A&M team. I would like to see some resilience. Like I got to see that against Indiana. They had their backs against the wall with Iowa, and they found a way to come back and win that game. Didn't always look like it was going to be that. That's why we make them the number 2 team in the country. Meanwhile, I did want to point to you that if you believe what I believe and you're willing to follow me on this and you're going to pick LSU to win, maybe you want to use my bookie to make that bet. And if you're looking at the line like I am, A&M is a 2.5-point favorite on the road, which means betting the spread 3 points, right, to LSU. That's 2.5, but 3 points because the hook is always kind of, right? But at 28-24, you go with me, you're going to make some money. It's what I think, right? But if it doesn't hit, okay, all you got to do is use the promo code in the description below. It is my name, all one word, RJ Young, all caps, all one word. Copy and paste in the description below. And use your bet back token, and they'll cover you up to $500 on your first bet. And if it doesn't hit, you get to play again. So run it back. But I think that LSU is due here, and I would not be shocked to find out they get themselves a signature win.